Well, happy Saturday to everyone. It is so fabulous to see the double the size number of people here today, and I'm just so thrilled. So welcome. My name is Cindy Roth, and I have such an honor and privilege of serving you as the WVU Foundation President. And we are so thrilled that we are here in Naples. It's a little chilly. I figured that I was going to get blamed for bringing the cold weather down from Morgantown. But hey, it's, as they say, it's in Florida, right? So that's a really good thing. We are so happy. This is our second, what we hope will become eventually annual, Rhodes Scholar Academy. And I just can't thank you all enough, again, for taking time out of your busy days, your busy Saturday, to be able to not be on the golf course and to come here and spend some time with us today. I will also tell you that we have set up for you what I call a star-studded morning and afternoon and day that you will walk away and you will not be the least bit disappointed with spending your time here with some of your fabulous Mountaineer friends. And as I said before, I want to thank everybody who helped to really bring friends to this. We want to grow this. This is a fabulous opportunity. Many, many universities like to do these kinds of things where you take the best on the road and you talk about the fabulous things that are out there. Then you go off and talk to your friends and other people and say, I didn't know that that was happening at West Virginia University. And that's really something. What a great source of pride that we all can feel no matter where we come from. And so I want to thank you for that. A few housekeeping items. Just want to, I get to do that. I'm your Vanna today, so I have some things to share with you. Please give us your feedback. Everyone here we have 187 people that signed up for this, which is fabulous. And again, that's more than double last year. But we're going to be giving you a survey that you'll receive after all this is over. And we really encourage you, tell us what you like. Tell us some topics that you would love to hear. There were 56 different applicants to fill maybe 9 or 10 speaking slots, folks. So the faculty and the folks back at WVU are anxious to be able to come and give the really good news to you. What a great thing that is. And so we had a fabulous academic committee that helped look at that. I said, that's not in my wheelhouse. So we asked folks from the provost's office and some deans to help take a look at that and help decide, whittle down some of the best speakers, the very best of the best, who are some accomplished faculty, clinicians, researchers, and yes, some of our fabulous students, because it is about the students as well. It's our core mission, obviously. So please tell us the feedback when you get it. We will be videotaping all of the sessions today. That was the feedback you gave us last year. Videotape it. Then we will launch and we'll have that placed on the West Virginia University Foundation website, and we'll let you know when that goes live, because that way you can take that and look at them again, share them again with your friends and things like that. There's a display in the foyer. Last year we had some of the fabulous historical treasures that were housed in our West Virginia libraries last year that you could touch and feel. This year, we're doing a fabulous display. We've got some of our fellows from facilities, and there is an exhibit just out these doors to the left. Please stop by. It's all day long in the foyer, but it's about the changing landscape of the Evansdale campus. So you'll love to see the fabulous things that are happening there, and that's really important. So they'll love to have you come by, and they've got some cool video screens to do that. Because Mother Nature is who she is, we had to change our dinner location. So we're coming inside tonight. You recall, those of you last year, we had a hearty group of Mountaineers. We were outside in the little courtyard. It was a little chilly, right? And you couldn't get close enough to those heaters. So we've got 230 people coming tonight for dinner. So we will be in the Vanderbilt room, which is down out this way. There'll be concierge folks helping you get there at 6 o'clock. And so we're looking forward to that. We could not do this without many people here in this room who are members of our host committee. I would like the host committee members to please stand and be recognized so we can say thank you so much for everything that you have done. So I really, really thank you. Again, you might want to be on the host committee so you can see some people and join that, which would be great. Their only job is to bring friends and bring people. That's kind of an easy job to do. I like that. There will be a host committee photo, though, tonight at 5:45. Just want you to know that. So host committee members meet in the lobby. We aren't going to take it outside because the hair will blow. It's not a good thing for girls. So we'll be inside and just meet us in the lobby. We'll take a quick picture and then head on over here for some things. And yeah, there's a Mountaineer basketball game tonight. I'm just saying. Do you think that we would ever not have the ability for you to watch Mountaineers? So thanks to Jessica, wherever she is, wave Jessica. She said, we're going to make sure and do this. We have television screens that are going to be in that area during the dinner and things like that, so we can, enjoy company and, yes, cheer on Bob Huggins and our team to be able to do that, which is really great to do. We're happy. Secondly, okay, pepperoni rolls. Because you got to bring a taste of West Virginia down to Florida. Sorry, Clay. It's a little bit on the fattening side. You may not want to eat this. Just don't tell Clay when you take it. It's your little parting gift whenever you leave the dinner tonight. So that means you got to come back to dinner. And they're really good for breakfast. I'm just saying. So don't tell Clay. So anyway. There are also some beautiful flowers on the table and on all your tables. They will, at the end of the sessions today, we'll have them outside on tables there. Feel free to take them with you and just enjoy. They can adorn your tables, and they may not make it on flights, but for those of you who are down here, please enjoy that. I'm not going to try and negotiate who gets them. Just take them when you can. Anyway, without further ado, allow us to get started with the day. He doesn't need a lot of introduction. However, I do have the honor and privilege of introducing our president of West Virginia University as we kick off our plenary sessions. Dr. Gee, as you well know, is extremely skilled. He's been there, done that, been around the university world, leading so many great universities, and we are so privileged that he not only started his career at WVU, but he's here now, and he's part of who we are, and we are so thrilled. He is active across the country in some national boards, again, providing his insight and his expertise at so many levels. He has been a phenomenal partner with us at the foundation as we are getting closer and closer to that $1 billion level. First time ever, folks, that West Virginia University has ever been able to then acclaim that we are going to achieve that $1 billion fundraising goal. And I will tell you, I promise you, it puts us in an elite group, and that's something to be really proud of. We couldn't do it without any of you in this room, I just have to say. But Dr. Gee helps to be able to prepare that, and he is just a champion like you cannot believe to that place. We will achieve it. He sets that standard and says, here's what we need to do. It is about students. It's about faculty and research and patient care. It's everything that West Virginia University is to be the leader for the state because it needs it. And that's something that is our obligation to do that. There is no one quite like him. And and I'm really privileged to call him both my leader and my friend. So, Dr. Gee, will you please come up and give us some really great remarks?
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So, listen, would you everyone give Cindy a big round of applause? She does a great job for us. And she's so low-key and non-energetic, I'm not going to say that. Anyway, it's so fun to be with all of you today, and I'm going to be fairly quick because all the stars who are here are in the room. Our faculty, our students, our senior administrators. I really don't want to take a lot of their time, but I am so privileged to be here with all of you today. I'll just say that we had a fun time last night. We're going to have a fun time today. You're going to see some really interesting things, but most importantly, we're all going to be able to celebrate West Virginia and West Virginia University, and that is so much fun. 33,000 students, 20,000 faculty and staff, and I must say that I have a wonderful team that I work with, but I just had to read you this. You know, I love these emails and everything that I get, and I thought I'd read this to you to just kind of start the day off. This one happened a couple of weeks ago. Dear Dr. Gee, thank you so much for the flowers you sent on the occasion of my business expansion. As a West Virginia University alumnus, I appreciate the thought. However, I must tell you that the card accompanying the flower said, "Rest in peace." There must have been some mistake, and I wanted to bring it to your attention. Oh my heck, you know, I mean, the day wives just went crazy. I mean, they were just running around. They couldn't figure out. This came from George from Wheeling. So finally, you know, in those things you have to send back some of the little humor. So I said, "Dear George, oh my, this means that somewhere there's a funeral taking place today with flowers and a note saying, 'Congratulations on your new location.'" So, oh, you gotta love it, don't you? So this one, you know, I receive a lot of these kind of things, but this one I thought was very funny. I mean, I don't know if it was true. There was an article about some of my quirkiness in USA Today, and this letter came in. It says, "Dear Dr. Gee, have you seen the latest description of you?" It was in USA Today just the other week. "At first glance, with his bow tie, the plain suits and round tortoiseshell glasses, West Virginia University President Gordon Gee resembles a propeller head with little interest in sports." And then the letter writer went on to say, "I don't get the plain suits dig, but the propeller head is right on the money." And it said, "Love, Dana Holgerson." I'm certain. I don't think Dana would do that one, but if he did, he's on a short leash. But anyway, so this one comes from Michelle. Now this is one of the greatest letters I've ever received in my life. "Dear President Gee, you delighted my son on move-in day by stopping by his room to welcome him personally to West Virginia University and to give him a cookie. After seeing him during Christmas, I just had to write to let you know how well he is integrating into West Virginia University life. He met a girl, made the dean's list, is writing for the student newspaper, joined the debate club, became a research assistant, took up polo, and is editor-in-chief of the new undergraduate research journal. Wow! We cannot believe that this is the same kid who refused to go to band camp in the 7th grade. So good job on helping him come out of his shell. Now keep it up." Well, I thought about this, and so I hope Michelle had a sense of humor, so I wrote her back and I said, "Dear Michelle, what a thrill your son is making the most of his opportunities here. I am also fairly certain that no one student could be that involved, and come to think of it, we do not have a polo club at West Virginia University." You aren't making your tuition checks to cash, are you? Well, I tell you something. I am treading on thin water here, as you know. I mean, I've had some statements which have caused me to have to move jobs, but you know, we're in the midst of choosing a Mountaineer mascot, and we're down to 4, and the Mountaineer mascot will be announced, I think, next week. And you know, this is a great honor for our students, and they take it very, very seriously. And so I do this thing called Gmail, and I'd love to do these top 10 lists, and so I came up with a top 10 list of the top 10 reasons to become a Mountaineer mascot. I proposed that I do it as Gmail. They didn't let me, so I thought that this is an inside crowd, and you'll forgive me. So here it is: the top 10 reasons to become a Mountaineer mascot. 10, all the free raccoon you can eat. Number 9, no one bugs you when you fall asleep on a park bench. Number 8, the scent of gunpowder in the morning. Number 7, you set the standard for beards. Number 6, 3 words: chicks dig moccasins. 5, leather is just not for upholstery anymore. Number 4, even folks at the DMV take you seriously. Number 3, you're not a bevo. And number 2, a guaranteed seat on the PRT. And the number 1 reason, the buckskin smell alone keeps the bears away. So I just thought I'd get that for you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's wonderful to be with all of you today. Isn't Naples a great place? Yeah, Naples. I read the other day that Naples is one of the wealthiest cities in the United States, with the 6th highest per capita income and the 2nd highest proportion of millionaires per capita. That makes me love Naples. Yeah, I also read the real estate here is among the most expensive in the country, but still more affordable than living in Morgantown. So, but ever since I've returned, it's been just over 2 years now, and I thank the people who made that happen in this room, our board of governors, and they're here. Listen, what the governors are here, stand up. I want everyone to see these guys. Okay, there's Tom, there's JR, there's Jim. We are blessed to have a great board. They do a terrific job, but most importantly, they work truly on behalf of the institution in so many different ways. So ever since I returned to this wonderful place, this home among the hills, I have dedicated much of the university's strategy around one word: commitment. Commitment. Mountaineers are a committed ilk. We commit to our communities. We commit to quality education. We commit to doing the right things in the right way. And you will see those core West Virginia beliefs and values today with the presentations from our faculty, from our students, from our senior administrators. Next week, I'll be delivering a State of the University address on the to the campus community on the hills of some fantastic accolades that we have achieved. In case you've not heard, West Virginia has reached a milestone that authenticates the quality of our institution on the global stage. This R1 ranking, some of you have read about it now. There are 4,500 universities in this country, 4,500, and there are very few that are really designated as the major research institutions in this country. 115 of them do about 80% of the basic research done in this nation. Think about that. That is a very small group. Now, we're a land-grant institution, and so our calling from Lincoln on was to make certain we build communities, when we build capacity, we create the American dream for everyone. But we're a unique institution because of the fact that we are both we're also a major research institution. So we'll discover the cure for cancer and then take it to the people in our state. We'll write the great American novel and make people very proud. And so we have moved into that category of those 115 institutions. That is something we've aspired to, not necessarily because of the fact that we think it is the only aspiration we should have, but it shows that we can do both great research, great teaching, and build capacity for the people of our state and beyond. So I'm very, very proud of that. By the way, I tell everyone that because of our uniqueness, being both a land-grant institution and a major research university, we are Michigan and Michigan State combined. We're Iowa and Iowa State combined. We're Indiana and Purdue combined. We're Texas and Texas A&M combined. Better than almost all of those, so what can I say? But this designation will help us recruit and retrain the very best talent available from among our faculty around the country, to staff, to students. While we welcome this news with open arms, we will not stop the train of our progress. We must not forget the strides, and this is very important to me and I think to everyone at the institution. We must not forget the strides that drove us to that accolade. We must build upon our dreams, and we have great dreams and established successes in areas such as academic programs and healthcare and transforming the economy of our state. We say all the time that we have three goals. One is education, and educate people and educate them well. Secondly is healthcare, and Clay's going to talk about that today. And the third is prosperity. We need to create a paradigm in which prosperity reigns in our state, and that is the goal of our institution. So a catalyst for elevating our national and international profile is something that is very, very important to us. Now, most of you are familiar with our creative campaign called Mountaineers Go First, and I love that campaign, that phrase, and its additional tagline of Let's Go has certainly morphed from a sports cheer into our daily mantra. In other words, let us stop pontificating about what we are doing and just get some stuff done. That's what we need to do. Theodore Roosevelt, I just read this great book about Roosevelt, and I loved one of the statements where he said, believe you can and you're halfway there. Believe you can and you're halfway there. West Virginia University believes. I can tell you that we believe intensely, and we believe insightfully, and we are going to get stuff done. Belief fuels hope. It It fuels change, transformation, and without belief, our world-class researchers would be unable to do some of the things and some of the amazing feats that they are engaged in. For example, Sean McWilliams, love this young guy, came to us 3 years ago, astrophysicist, and he got very heavily involved. And I know nothing about gravitational waves, let me just tell you. I know nothing about it. I've read about black holes, and I started reading a lot about it because we had this young group of astrophysicists, among the best in the world, literally. And his particular part of our astrophysics program was to take a look at the possibility that these black holes would collide. And they've never heard, they've never seen, but because of the fact that we had these fabulous radio telescopes at Green Bank, we were one of the lead research entities in terms of determining whether or not these black holes would ever collide. Well, guess what? This year they heard the chirp. They call it the chirp. And that is when these black holes collide. And this young man was the instigator of that. Think about that. And by the way, what that means is the fact that after 100 years we have proven the theory of relativity. Einstein predicted that this would happen, and we proved that. Think about that. What a remarkable thing to happen on our own campus, right, Marianne? It was just absolutely fabulous. So I always knew that it was going to happen. No, just kidding you, but and I've been trying to crack that damn theory of relativity my whole life, but here we go. But McWilliams said the discovery of gravitational waves could provide deeper understanding of the laws of physics that govern, and of course, all the laws that govern the universe. Tom just said yesterday, Tom Flaherty told our foundation board that one of our board members, who's the chief scientist for NASA, she said, this is the most important discovery of this century. Now, we don't know why, but it is. And we're going to figure that out. Since last fall, the Center for Alternative Fuels, Engines, and Emissions, Dean Slando is here. West Virginia University has made quite the splash by blowing the top off the Volkswagen emissions scandal. Cindy and I are not going to Wolfsburg to ask for any donations, as a matter of fact. Its director, Dan Carter, and his research team produced the evidence that showed Volkswagen cheated on U.S. vehicle emissions tests. That group has been named by Road and Track as the most important individuals in the automobile industry this year, number one. Think about that. And they were just named by Bloomberg as disruptors of the year. I can imagine that. I hope that they don't get any idea about the university. But anyway, that is wonderful. But now they're building on this. I just had a conversation with Dan the other day. You would think, well, all the other automobile companies would be frightened to death of these guys, but instead, Volvo just gave them $1 million. Everyone is coming to them because they want to have them now be the standard of verification for what is happening in the automobile industry. So last summer, a fire ravaged one of West Virginia's most important assets, Harper's Ferry. Great historic area, as we well know. And shortly after the fire, I telephoned their mayor, Greg Vaughn, to offer the university's time and resources to help rebuild their town. Greg Vaughn, volunteer, had 2 city councilmen. He was in tears. He just didn't know what to do. And the fire marshal told him, you got to tear down these historic facilities. You got to level everything. And so we took over a whole group. We took over folks from our law school. We took over folks from engineering. We took over folks from extension. And one of our extension agents is our faculty has just lived there now for the past 6 months. And guess what? We're rebuilding it. And we're rebuilding it in the historic way that it should have been rebuilt. That's what the university ought to be doing. And from there, of course, we have other projects. We are also beginning the stages of a community engagement project in Weirton, which was once a thriving steel town, and will continue in the planning of West Virginia University's effort in that regard. And then, of course, we are moving our West Virginia Tech campus to Beckley. It has not been easy. There's a lot of politics involved in this, but for West Virginia to be able to have a university situated in the southern part of the state where we have so many challenges, we will be able to do things that we have never been able to do before. We have basically ceded below Route 60 to other institutions. We should never have done that, but by investing in this new campus, we're going to be able to make a difference. So that being said, putting students first will forever remain our highest mandate. We've got students here. We have this thing we call Project 168. The provost is so proud of that, and she's doing such a great job, because what it is, and some of you have heard me say this before, the students in this room and are on our campus for 168 hours a week. That's how many hours there are in a week. And the truth of the matter is the fact that they're in class only 18 hours a week. And so we have to think, what about those other 150 hours? Now, if we make certain that they are safe, if we make certain that they have a good place to live and they have good food, that gives us a C-. That gives us a C- because every institution in the country is doing that. That gives us a C-. So the question we ask ourselves, how do we move from a C- to an A+? And that is the project of making certain that every student at our institution, with the 500 student groups that they have available, with all the various choices, the ability to be able to go to Australia or Austria, to be able to travel around the world, to be able to have late-night pizza parties in which they are really engaged in the life and issues of the institution, to have students from 110 countries and speaking 100 different languages, and have people challenge you every day, that makes us an A+ institution. And it's that engagement that we think is so extremely important. So with that, we believe that we are making an enormous difference, and you'll have a chance to hear more about that today. Last semester, we were blessed with the opening of Evansdale Crossing, a new student hub that is now the equivalent of our Mountain Lair. I just got a note last night from a student that said, "I will never go to the Mountain Lair again unless you make it like Evansdale Crossing." I don't know if Doug is here, but I tell you something, that's exactly what we wanted to hear. We have changed the format of the way that we engage in our students, and if you get a chance to see this, it is one of the most forward-thinking facilities of its kind in the world. And what it does is it really puts together our academic programs, our media programs, our entrepreneurial programs, all of the things we want to have, and it's one-stop shopping, and the students just love it. That's the kind of relationship we need to have with our students. So it is beginning to make that kind of difference. So what are we out? How can we best do what we're doing? Well, access and quality must be our polar stars. To maintain quality, we made the tough decision to increase tuition this year, as you well know. It is never an easy decision to make. However, we must never sacrifice the quality of our institution, and instead must find ways to keep education affordable. And so I'm pleased today, because our foundation directors are here, is the fact that they stepped up and they said, we're going to create a program called Dream First. We're going to raise $50 million to make certain that our institution is not available to students because they can afford to come, but rather because of the fact that this is where they should be. And we've had great success with that, and I thank them for doing that. And finally, of course, investing in faculty and staff means making their jobs easier to make the university a better place. We are a bureaucratic institution. Almost every major university in this country is over-bureaucratized. And so we decided what we do is we just go at it directly. So we created these SWAT teams, popularly known as bureaucracy busters. This means if there is red tape in your neighborhood, who are you going to call? Bureaucracy busters. I just thought I'd try that one. You got it, okay. We are streamlining processes. You know, some of you have heard me say this before. We are an elephant. We're big and we're ponderous and we're slow. And we've got to become a ballerina very fast. We've got to transform ourselves. Transformation to growth. That's what we're about. Because if we don't, we're going to become a dinosaur. And that, we know what happened to them. And we do not want to have that. So by focusing on making sure that we become nimble and quick and agile, that we think differently, that we view the world in a much different place, that's what we're about. And that's what we're trying to achieve. So I believe that in so many ways that the university is making tremendous strides. The most important thing, of course, is the fact that we are about exceeding our expectations. We are about dancing beyond our boundaries. We're about making a difference in the lives of 1.8 million West Virginians. We're about every day reaching out, reaching up, and bursting through boundaries, and which, by the way, might sound risky, but that is okay as long as we move forward thinking strategically, and as long as we put our students and the state of West Virginia first. So that is the way we must lead. Pretty simple. We must be head first and headstrong. And if we do that, we're going to be very successful. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Rhodes Scholar Academy. Most importantly, thanks to every one of you. Your energy, your commitment, your belief, your understanding, your inspiration to us is what makes a difference. So saying all of that, what I'd like to do is take any questions for just a minute. I don't want to take too much time, but are there any questions in the room? There's surely some questions here that I can answer. Yeah, just raise your hand. Anyone? Boy, I must have stunned you. Yes?
What's going to happen to all the buildings in Montgomery?
Oh, the question is what's going to happen to all the buildings in Montgomery. Well, you know, we're not about abandoning Montgomery. In fact, we don't have an abandonment strategy. We're about building Montgomery. Our move to Beckley was a very important thing for us. Mountain State, which was an institution that had failed, they had built about $130 million worth of facilities, fabulous facilities. Our facilities in Montgomery were so challenged, they had about $110 to $120 million worth of deferred maintenance. And so what we're doing is we're looking at 3 or 4 different sources. First of all, we have committed that we're going to keep those buildings open and keep them and keep them up until we find another tenant. Secondly of all, we're looking for tenants, and we do have 3 or 4 very serious tenants interested. That would be great for Montgomery. They'd bring in people, they bring in jobs, they bring in opportunities, and so we are working very hard to make that happen. But I've always made this point to the people of Montgomery: we are not in an abandonment situation. We're in a situation in which we're trying to make everyone better. Now, I will just say this, and I'll say this here. You know, when I first came about 2 years ago, and my first conversation with the legislature, you guys have to make decisions. You know, you guys have to make the tough decisions. Then we'll support you if you make the tough decisions. So guess what? We made the tough decisions, and it wasn't, all of a sudden they're not so enthusiastic about it. You can't do that. Well, why? Well, because you can't do that. You know, that's not an answer. And so I think that one of the great ironies, but one of the great positives about the university is the fact that we are making very difficult decisions, which we should make and which we must make in order to be able to set a standard for moving many of these issues forward. Questions? Questions? Anyone else have any questions? Cindy, let's get to work, okay? Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.